All right. Good evening, everyone. I trust, yeah, I trust we are all doing fine this weekend. Okay. Um, we're still waiting for two others to join. Okay. But meanwhile, since we're already up to three, I think we should start. Then they will join later. All right. Um, so for a week now, we took our time to discuss about the fundamentals of project management. All right, and I have shared the training slide with every one of us. Then, what I will also do after this class is that I will, uh, because ideally at the end of each topic, you are supposed to do a quiz. So at the end of this class now, I will share the quiz that you are supposed to do under the fundamentals of project management. So you're supposed to answer that question and submit your answer on the group. Okay? So we are going to achieve that because it's part of the process of this training. So under the fundamentals of project management, we're able to look at the meaning of project management, the characteristics of project management. We also looked at, apart from the characteristics, we're still able to look at the similarities similarities and difference between operations and project management. Then we also went further to do a comparison of what we have in between project, programs, and portfolio. Then, in addition to that, we went further to look at the project life cycle and how important the project life cycle is. We discussed vividly the two basic type of project, the three basic type of project life cycle and when they can be used. All right. So in addition to that, we also looked at organizational structure. In the situation whereby you find yourself in an organization that don't practice what is expected, how do you influence that organization for your own benefit? So we looked at that. Then in addition to that, we also looked at the different type of organizational structure because we said in every organization, project does not exist in a vacuum. So project always exists in every organization. And you will also discover that in every organization, even if irrespective that they are carrying out the same business function, but they have different business style and business culture. So we also looked at the different type. We said we have the projectized, the functional, and the matrix. We looked at the different categories. Then in addition to that, we also look at other ways in which project comes. How do organizations get themselves involved in projects? So we look at the different ways, and part of what we looked at, we said, oh, project can come from customers' request. Project can come from, apart from customers' requests, project can come from business need and business demand, um, market demand. Project can come from market demand. Project can come from because the organization saw a business need. Project can come from the government because the government passed a law. And project can also come from technology. So because of technological advancement, there can be projects. And we also mentioned ecological needs and social need. And the example I gave for ecological need and social need, like in social need, I talk about the pandemic, that the pandemic brought a lot of projects for different organizations. All right. They saw need to embark on such projects. So that is part of what we looked at. Then finally, we now looked at how to select a project. We looked at how to select a project. And in that discussion of how to select a project, then we looked at the different selection method. We said we have the optimization method and we have the benefit measurement method. Okay, then under the benefit measurement method, we looked at all the different categories. We said that the benefit measurement method can be recategorized into a non-financial and financial model. The non-financial, we looked at all the possible. When we say non-financial, we said because we don't actually have to consider financial figures because of in the course of trying to evaluate the benefits. So in such an example, we looked at the motherboard, then we also looked at the peer review and the scoring model. Then also in addition to that, we looked at the explanations. Then we also consider for the financial model. Under the financial model, we spoke about the cost benefit analysis. And then in addition to the cost benefit analysis, we spoke about the payback period. We spoke about the internal rate of return. And also we spoke about the net present value. And at the end of that class, I said we're going to have an assignment which I'm going to also post on the platform. Sorry, I have not done that because I quickly needed to keep up with other commitment, but that I will do later today. So that brings us to this present class currently. And now we want to discuss project integration management. Now, like I said earlier, we have successfully discussed all the fundamentals. Now we're going deeper. Okay, now we are going deeper. So that is why we want to look at that. So now, what is project integration about? What are we integrating? What is the concept behind project integration? Oh, what are we defining when we say project integration? Please, guys, take note. It is simply because of this aspect of the project that you are needed as a project manager. Why? Because they need somebody who is able to integrate every aspect of the project. So project integration management, as we can say, is technically, please take note. So when we say integrate, what are we trying to say? That is a big grammar. Now, the simplest way to quickly decode that word is when we say that we want to see a way to put all the different pieces of a project into a cohesive whole. So we can quickly say that project integration is defined or to integrate a project is defined as the process of putting all the pieces of a project into a cohesive whole. That is integration. And that is the more reason why you will be employed anywhere as what? A project manager. Why? Because they need somebody that will be able to pick all the pieces of the project into a cohesive whole. And take note, that alone is very, very important. And I repeat again, that is the primary role of a project manager. That is the primary role of a project manager. Now, when we say putting all the pieces of the project together to form a cohesive whole, what pieces are we talking about? Remember when we were discussing during the introduction of what project is, we said that let's assume the project you have is a special dinner with your family. You want to unite your family, you want to give them a special dinner. Now, that is the project you are planning for. Or better still, this PMP class. Let's assume this PMP class is a project. All right, because definitely it has a beginning and it has an end date. All right. Now you discover that what are the pieces of this project? You look at the issue of time. All right. Time is an aspect. What is the schedule for this project? Number two, you also look at the budget. How much will it cost me to pass through and get this PMP training? That is a budget. Who are the possible stakeholders in this PMP training? That is okay. What are the possible risks that I can encounter as I participate in this PMP training or as I carry out this project? That is a pieces. Then you look at, okay, what are the resources that I need? Oh, you need data. You need a phone that have internet, or you need a laptop. That is a pieces. Then you now look, oh, do I really need to make any purchase? Do I need to procure anything in case I don't have? So you can see that in this case, the person whose job is to coordinate all these different aspects of the project put together is who we refer to as the integrator. And that integrator is the project manager. I hope we get that, please. Hello, did we get that, please? Yes, Kennedy. All right. Hello, Kennedy, are you there? I'm with you. All right. What about Joseph? Yeah, good evening. Are you there, Joseph? I'm with you, sir. Okay. Good evening. So let's move on. All right. So take note. So that is what we mean by project or an integrator. And that is the primary function of the project manager. So you discover, you ask yourself, okay, this gigantic project, eh, how do I put all these things together? Because you need to integrate. And according to the Project Management Institute, how did they define project integration management? So when we now say, okay, you now know who is an integrator, and you know that you are the one that is the integrator. And we said integration is different pieces of the project put together so that it can make sense. Then what is now integration management? We can now say that integration management is that aspect that is concerned or that has to do with the coordinating of all the different plans or all the different aspects of the project and bring them together. And that is why they define it in their own terms, all right, in their own plenty grammar, that project integration management, this is the plenty grammar that PMI define it, that project integration management, as you can see on the screen, they said it involves identifying the works of the project and combining, unifying, and integrating the appropriate processes. So you can see that that is exactly what integration management is. That there are different aspects of the project. It is your responsibility of identifying those aspects. So excuse me, sir, is it that I must use all the processes that we have talked about, or the 49 project management processes in every project? No, because it is your responsibility to identify that aspect that you need to unify, that you need to combine. So is it every aspect or every of the project management processes I must use and combine? No. That is why you see this definition. You said it involves identifying the work of the project, which aspect of that project that you need to combine, unify, and integrate the process appropriately. Okay, so that is what project integration management. All right. So what are the project management processes that if I need to integrate a project that I will definitely have to follow through? As you can see on the screen, these are the project management processes. You can see the first thing is to develop a project charter, and that is done at the early stage of the project, which refers to as what? Initiating. So which means this task of developing a project charter is done at the early stage of the project. And when we say initiating, it is that beginning time where you are still trying to understand what the project is all about. Then number two, the second process that you must also consider is to develop the project management plan. There must be a plan. You remember the case study we discussed about Q Silver Consulting in our fundamentals. All right. All of us said that it's because that organization did not have a plan. And because they did not have a plan, hence the problem they encountered. Okay. So now we need to have a project management plan. That is, you see that it is carried out under planning phase of the project. Then the other thing we need to also consider the process is develop and direct and manage project work. In this case, this is the aspect of executing, which means we are actually going to do the work that we have planned. So the project manager is going to direct and manage the work. It is done under executing. Then you also see that manage project knowledge is also done under executing. Then monitoring and control project work, because when your team are already working on the project or on the task assigned to them, there is need for you, the project manager, to actually monitor the work that is being done. So that monitoring, you can see it's done under monitoring and controlling. Then finally, is it possible to make changes as we work on a project? Yes, it is possible. That is perform integrated change control, and that is done under monitoring and controlling. And lastly, you can say close the project or the project phase, that particular phase you are working on. If it is let's say for instance it's a building project and you have divided it into different phases. Oh, plumbing phase, tiling phase, electrification phase, plastering phase, block work phase, roofing phase. So you can see that if roofing phase is done, for example, you can either close roofing phase and say, okay, now we are done with roofing phase. Let's do another phase of the project. So you can break your project into different phases. Okay. So all these 7 are the project management processes. So now we are going to look at them one after the other. Okay. Now let me ask. Yes, Joseph, from experience, what is a project charter? Because they say you should develop it. For them to say you should develop it, then you should know what a project charter is. Yes, Kennedy. And Joseph first. What is a project charter? Hello, Joseph, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what is a project charter? Yes, we are waiting for you, Joseph. What is a project charter? Any idea?
Sorry, sir. The noise is too much in where I am. You can hear. I didn't even hear what you said.
Okay, I said,
Okay.
what is a project charter from your experience?
What I can say about project charter is um, just a way of organizing or stating the processes by which the project is expected to be carried out. I'm not sure if I'm
Okay.
it's just really sorry, sir.
All right. It's good that you have judged yourself. All right. Okay, Kennedy, can you help us out? What do you think a project charter is from experience?
That shows that the project exists. Showing exact information about the project and also giving him authority also an acknowledgement sort of that the project is about to start and formally engaging the project manager to start the process of executing the project.
Wow. That is very, very correct. Okay. Yeah, that is very, very correct. Now, you see that it is a responsibility or it is a process. And that process is the first process in every project. So the first thing that should be done at the early stage of your project is to develop a project charter. Now, what is a project charter? Just as Kennedy said, is a document, yes, correct, that is put together to show the existence of a project, yes. And also, as Kennedy said, it give the project manager the formal authority that that project or it should spend resources. Now, which is very correct. Now, I want you to listen carefully because there are a lot of things I want to say from this small document. A project charter is a written acknowledgement document that shows that a project exists. And that document must, I use the word must, it must contain the name of the project manager. It must contain the name of the project manager, showing that the project manager has the authority to spend the organizational resources, showing that the project manager has what authority to spend organizational resources. And that is the meaning of a project charter. And a project charter contains high-level requirement or high-level informations about what the project entails. And take note, a project charter becomes official or becomes legal when it is officially signed by the project sponsor. That becomes a project charter. Excuse me, sir, can a project charter be created verbally? No. A project charter must be written. Excuse me, sir, I don't understand. So what about all those little projects we embark on, like family projects, projects of your friends or associates? Are you saying that I must tell them to write it down? Yes, they must write in the little details of what they expect you to accomplish, which will be a boundary, which will be like a record of what they need you to do. Because the project charter technically will show the time the project will start and the time the project will end. All right. So technically, a project charter, it simply shows that the document or the project exists. And it also shows that your name as the project manager must be incorporated in that document. So excuse me, sir, what you are trying to say now is that you cannot and I must not start any project without a project charter. Please listen. Those of us that do little projects, it is very important that there is an official document that's help to detail out what they need you to do and the person sign. Why? So that the person will not come tomorrow and charge you to court for maybe there's any legal issues regarding that project. Then you have an official document to defend yourself. Even if it is your even if it's your father's project or a close person's project that you know, please make sure they give you a project charter. So a project charter can be in form of a little written agreement. It can be like a service level agreement. It can be like a small memo. It can be like a little note but make sure they write something for you. And that thing they are writing for you, they sign on it, stating what they want you to do, and agreeing that you have been assigned that project to be what? Completed. Okay? That is a project charter. Excuse me, sir. Now, is it possible that if we create the project charter and time goes on, we can change it? No. The project charter cannot be changed. Take note. It is the only official document that can never be changed. Excuse me, sir, why would you use the word never? Yes. In attempt of changing the project charter is creating a different project. So if, for instance, we have created a project charter and the project sponsor has signed it, but if the project sponsor have not signed it, it is possible that he has not signed it, then you can make changes. It is not yet a project charter, it is not official yet. But the moment the project sponsor have agreed and signed it, and all the little documentation of what they expect you to achieve, everything they need that you should do has been stated in that document, then when that document is signed, it becomes official. You are binded by that document. That is why you can see in this, we said key benefit. This process creates a well-defined project start and project boundaries, creation of formal records of the project, and direct ways for senior management to formally accept and commit to the project. That is the importance of a project charter. So when the project charter has been agreed on, signed, then the document becomes official and it is binded by law. And if tomorrow the sponsor came and said, oh, I need to adjust that document that we signed, you are to create a new project automatically, which is different from that one that you have. So take note, the project charter can never be changed. It is the only document that can never be changed. Yes, yes, Egosa, you have a question.
Yes, sir. I want to ask, is the project charter legally binding? Like, must you consult a lawyer in order for that?
No, you don't need to consult a lawyer when we say is legally binded. No, you don't need any lawyer in that case to create a project charter. Now, the question now is who can create the project charter? Take note. Technically, or most often, it is the responsibility of the company giving you a project to write out all the things they want you to do and tell you the amount, and you people negotiate the amount and the time for you to deliver and all the necessary things that needs to be there, and you sign for you and you go and execute with the money the person has given. All right, but it is also possible that you find yourself in an organization where, like in Kennedy's organization now in marine sector, let's say for instance the boss uh, let's say the boss uh, Kennedy, please, what's the DG name of the marine sector again? Is it Dakuku? Uh, um, 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 hello, Kennedy.
I'm with you.
Yes, what was the name of the DG of the marine sector?
I'm with you. Maybe
Oh,
is it the master you're talking
okay, yeah, Nimasa, yeah, Nimasa.
about? Maybe something down there.
Oh, it's Dauda. So it's no longer that Bayelsa governor aspirant. Is it Dakuku Abi?
The Rivers State aspirant.
Okay,
The
yeah,
chairman has been removed 5 years ago.
yeah.
Now, that guy has left now.
He has left
Yes, he
since.
has left and gone. Yes.
Ah, I didn't know that. Seriously. So let's say for instance, all right, the Dauda knows that you are now a certified project manager. You now say, okay, yeah, Kennedy, please, I need you to come. Let's discuss a new project. And he discussed that project with you. And in that discussion he has with you, then he can instruct you. So take note. So when I use the word that it is a customer or the organization that owns the project that provides or creates the project charter, that is standard. But it is also possible that you work in an organization as a project manager. The oga can instruct you, say, Dauda, please, come, let's Kennedy, please come, let's discuss a project that I'm thinking about. And you are called upon. He looks at that project, two of you look at it together, and I tell you the details of the project, and I say, okay, please help me create an official document for this project. That official document that he will sign becomes the project charter. So you will not be the one cracking your brain, putting all the information together, but that document will become official because he will have to sign. Do you get it now? So that is what the project charter. It is very important that we take note of that. Yes. Any question regarding the project charter?
Yes.
Okay, go on. Yeah, go on, please.
Yes. I want to ask, project charter, does, does it say officers of legislation that is maybe when there are need for adjustment? Or
No,
maybe when there is a when there is a no, maybe in a project and carrying out a project. And discover, let's say for instance, you want to build this thing somewhere, and the money that is and now shows another on that side. So which you have no choice than to accept that side. It means if you accept that side, you have a project charter, so you have already been, how would I say, it has already been void. So you need to write another project charter. Because I'm looking at cost and the human activities that might lead to project start. Maybe change of project because let's say project is ongoing. Why? Because of finance spending. I don't know whether that charter can.
no. Okay. All right. Thank you for that question. In that case that you just cited now, that a project is ongoing already. Remember, it's ongoing. Being that it is ongoing simply means a project charter has been created and signed, which means money has been spent already on as the project is already ongoing. So in that case, it is not the project charter document that is changed if there is a delay. All right, the document that will be adjusted will become the schedule document.